If you are someone who has struggled with marketing your flowers or you're looking to sell flowers for the first time in 2026, I've got just a free resource for you. Over at my Patreon, I am doing a 12 days of giving where I am dropping exclusive videos along with downloadable templates to help you get clear on who your ideal customer is so that you feel confident and ready to start marketing and selling your flowers in 2026. We are now in day 3 of the 12 days. And on day 1, we talked about getting clear on who your customer is. Day 2, we talked about how to speak to that customer in a language that's going to convince them to buy from you. And day 3, we're talking about where to reach those customers. I am going to show the video from day 1 to give you an inkling of what that's all about. But if you are interested in seeing days 2 and 3, as well as what's to come, head on over to my Patreon and sign up as a free member. And as a heads up, one of those 12 days will actually be a health related video per my last video talking about how this channel is changing. I think a lot of people thought that I was going to completely shy away from flower farming content. That is obviously not true, especially given what I just talked about here and really focusing on marketing flowers. We're just going to see some videos that also tie into health and why I am doing certain things in the field related to health. So let me know if you have any questions, and hopefully I'll see you over on my Patreon. Welcome to day 1. Today we're going to be talking about getting clear on your customer. This is an exercise that's going to be really helpful, especially if you're completely new, you're trying to figure out who you're going to sell to, how you're going to sell. But I think it's also a very worthy exercise for those of you who have been growing for a few years, whether you're selling to retail or wholesale. This is really important for me because I am shifting everything to retail, and I wanted to get really, really clear on who my customer is. And this is actually something that I haven't done as in detail as I should have before. So there is a template that's going to accompany this video that you can download. It's going to also help you figure out how to get clear. I would say set aside 20 to 30 minutes for this. What we're talking about here is most flower growers, most business owners think that their customer is anyone who likes flowers or who wants to buy this product. But that's like saying, if I asked you the question, what's your favorite song? You say music. It's too generalized. And when you are too generalized on who your product can be for, it really is for no one. So when you have one or a couple of ideal customers, it makes it a lot easier to sell to them because you're going to be speaking directly to them. Now, this matters because it actually impacts things on the crop planning level. So for example, I've talked before about selling wholesale versus retail. Your colors are going to look very different, but even on a very specific customer level, let's take, for example, on the retail level, you might be growing different crops depending on who you figure out who your ideal customers that you want to sell to. Let's bring this to life. Example number 1 is you want to sell flowers to someone who just wants like a $20 to $25 bouquet on their kitchen table or on their dining room table because flowers make them happy, right? So your target customer would not be a 35-year-old mom with 2 kids. You would get a lot more specific. You would say a 30-year-old stay-at-home mom who feels invisible in her own life. She's constantly giving to everybody, but nobody seems to give back to her. She's scrolling on Instagram at night, seeing how some of these other women are living in beautiful homes, while hers feels just chaotic and joyless and almost just too functional. She can't remember the last time someone brought her flowers outside of Mother's Day, and she feels guilty spending money on herself for just flowers because there's always something else that she can spend money on, like more nutritious food for her kids, soccer tournaments, and things like that. See how specific I got there? On the flip side, if we're doing wedding related work, your customer is not just a 30-year-old bride. Your customer could be a 30-year-old bride who is overwhelmed by all the Pinterest boards that she's seeing, that perfect wedding, that picture perfect wedding pressure, and she just wants something that feels authentic, personal. She doesn't want her flowers to look cheap or run of the mill. She just wants her flowers to feel like her. So those are two very concrete examples of customers that you could be chasing after. And it's not just to say that you can only have one, you can have many. But when you get really, really clear on who you're trying to go after, it also helps you become more clear on the messaging you want to speak to, as well as where you're going to be deploying that message. One of the key parts of this template is really getting into like the psychographics behind this person. Like, she's not just buying flowers. Why is she buying it? And how does it help her achieve this version of herself that she aspires to be? So I have in the below post an example of me filling this out to give you a real life example. And my real life example is a little bit more aligned to that first example that I gave you, which is really this like silent joy seeker. In fact, there's this first part, give them a name. I call it a silent joy seeker. This is someone who just wants to be reminded that she matters, and it can be done silently for her through something as simple as flowers. This is, I think, about 8 pages worth. And I'll even go as far to say that a lot of people stop probably by like page 2 or 3 because it feels too hard. I think the most important part is for you to think about like, what are the problems that this person has? What are the things that your flowers can do to help them overcome this problem? Fill out step 1, fill out step 2, the psychographics here. And then what you can do is you can literally tell AI exactly what you filled out in step 1 and 2. Take the PDF, load it into an AI platform and say, based off of what I told you in steps 1 and 2, can you help me figure out how to fill out the rest of this? That is not only going to help you get past any roadblocks that you have, but it's also going to give you potentially a few ideas that you haven't thought about. You can prompt AI to say, this sounds great, but I want to go more in the angle of this, or give me like 2 examples of how this worksheet can be filled out. And so I guarantee you by the end of this, you're definitely going to have not only a better idea of who you want to sell to, but the wheels are going to start turning in terms of you getting excited for how you can be marketing to this person. After filling out your template for day 1, I would love to know in the comments what you learned, what you gained clarity on, what you're excited about. And in day 2, we're going to talk about how we speak to her in a language that's going to hopefully nudge her towards a direction that's going to be more likely to buy your flowers.